My name is Craig Johnson, and I'll be your television host tonight. I'm your Associate Dean at the University of Arizona South for External Affairs. And I'd like to be the first to welcome you to the 2002 commencement ceremony for the University of Arizona South. Before we begin the pomp and circumstance of the 2002 graduation ceremony, think back at this past year. Think back of the tragedy of September 11th, the challenges that we faced with the economy. Think back for a moment and reflect. Think back of those challenges.
Chavira, graduate speaker, graduating with a Master of Arts in Educational Psychology. Dr. Renee Humberg, Superintendent, Sierra Vista Public Schools. On our first row, to your left in the front, Dr. Randy Groth, Associate Vice President and Dean, University of Arizona South. Dr. George Davis, Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs and Provost for the University of Arizona. Colonel William A. Carrington, Commander, 111th Military Intelligence Brigade, Fort Huachuca. Dr. Eugene Sander, Vice Provost and Dean, College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Dr. Richard Arribas.
Tonight celebrating a great accomplishment. As the events of the year unfolded, many of you sought advice and comfort from the friends and family, as well as many of those of us at the University of Arizona, the faculty, the staff, and the administration. And while you sought explanation and comfort from us, we saw in you an inner strength that ultimately impacted our behavior as a campus. You came to us with a need to understand what was happening in the world, with an understanding and acceptance of tolerance, and with an excitement and dedication to succeed. It was your strength, your unwavering dedication to succeed, and your understanding of world events that gave us a renewed sense of responsibility and dedication at UA South. So, as a collective body of faculty, staff, administration, students, and community, we decided not to circle our wagons and wait for the future to come to us. We did not decide to sit around and wait for the sky to fall. Rather, we decided to take the lead and engage in activities that would not only guarantee the future success of our campus, but provide a path that would guide others during these perilous times. So in partnership with the University Foundation of Sierra Vista Incorporated, with our constituents and community behind us, and under the leadership and guidance,
the choices women often have to make with regard to balancing career and family. Some women, the argument goes, may purposely
going on in your communities and in the world, and to assume that what does not affect you immediately will not affect you ever. But the events of September 11th, 2001 taught us without a shadow of doubt that we must understand not only what is happening in our own communities, but also in our global community. We learned that what is happening in the Middle East, in Afghanistan, in Malaysia, does affect us, even here in our small Arizona community. One of our students, Patricia Scales, an English education major who crossed this very stage last year, lost her husband, Lieutenant Colonel David Scales, in the fiery explosion at the Pentagon on September 11th. Our hearts go out to Patricia and her son, Ashton, and we offer her our deepest condolences. Lieutenant Colonel Scales' loss illustrates that even here in southern Arizona, we are connected to world events. Indeed, the loss of 3,000 lives in the U.S. and the ongoing interconnected loss of lives in the Middle East has become a defining reference point for our culture and our imagination, a question of before and after. And it is clear that some things have changed forever. So, we live in a new world, and you are the first graduating University of Arizona South class to go forth into this new world. After September 11th, in this new world, it is clear that ordinary ordinary people can become heroes, that ordinary people must face unimagined challenges, solve new problems, and hopefully prevail. In this new world, ordinary people will be required to take tests for which they have not studied. But as you face these tests, the skills you have learned here at the University of Arizona South will hold you in good stead. Do not avert your eyes. Pursue the path of an educated person. Put events and problems in your own community and in the world in their historical, political, literary, and cultural context, so that you understand why things are happening the way they are. Change your communities for the better. Follow the example of the citizens of New York and the world as they responded to the events of September 11th. What people did was look around, see what needed to be done, and do it. Use the skills you have learned while you were here to be similarly effective. Use your academic and practical skills in your classrooms, your boardrooms, your government jobs, and in your communities. Notice how you are connected not only to the poorest persons in your own community, but also to the mothers and children and grandparents in Palestine, Israel, Afghanistan, and Malaysia. Ask, what can I do to make the world a better place? Each of us must choose whether to live our lives narrowly, selfishly, or complacently, or whether we will act with courage and faith. I urge you to take the tools of your education and to map a better course for your community, your country, and your world. In your journey, if your goals are high, you'll meet resistance. Robert Kennedy once said, "If there's nobody in your way, it's because you're not going anywhere." No matter how steep the road, no matter how tough the opposition, go forth with courage. Somewhere along the way, someone will ridicule your beliefs, challenge your positions, dismiss your principles. You'll find yourself exhausted trying to persuade others to see your point of view. But remember, you have something worthwhile to say. Say it. On behalf of the faculty, I summon each graduate here to embrace the faith and courage and perseverance that will make a difference in the lives of each person you meet, that will make a difference in each situation in which you find yourself. I challenge you to enrich the lives of others, to inspire those you meet with your passion, to throw down every barrier to justice that you encounter, to explore the boundaries of what is humanly possible, and in that way, to ennoble your own life. Finally, I leave you with the most sincere congratulations of the faculty on your fine accomplishments. We are very proud of you, and we look for you to continue your record of achievement. Thank you.
Dr. Peter Likens is the 18th president of the University of Arizona, having begun his tenure here in July 1997. Prior to coming to Arizona, Dr. Likens was president of Lehigh University. He served as provost at Columbia University, and he was for 12 years a member of the faculty at UCLA. We at UA South have believed ourselves to be particularly fortunate in his appointment here. He has been most supportive of us. He attends our graduations and our celebrations, and in general seems to share our own very high opinion of ourselves. We are grateful for his very real support. Dr. Likens has a list of accomplishments that goes on for pages, and I more than suspect that he gets pretty tired of having to listen to them being read on every occasion. I also suspect that I am not alone in being impressed by more than his curriculum vitae. Dr. Likens and his wife, Patricia, have raised an interracial family, which includes 6 adopted children. I think that's a remarkable thing to have done, and I'd place that higher on my list of achievements that I'd admire than even his many academic accomplishments. Others of us have commented on the personal integrity exhibited by Dr. Likens in situations in which he could have blamed others for or got himself off the hook for unpopular decisions, but he refused to do that. He's shown himself ready to stand up, face his critics, and move on. That's rare enough in today's society to be notable. Dr. Likens began his career at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory of the California Institute of Technology and was involved in the early years of spacecraft development. I tell you that because when he accepted this position here in 1997, the Arizona Daily Star ran an editorial cartoon drawn in a little question-answer format. The first panel says, question, does it really take a rocket scientist to run the University of Arizona? Answer, evidently so. Ladies and gentlemen, the rocket scientist who runs the University of Arizona, Dr. Peter Likens.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. It always feels good to participate in the commencement of the University of Arizona South. Somehow it feels like a family affair. You seem to be connected to each other and to your community in very special ways. I can feel it. I can feel that each one of you has a story, and it's not a typical story. Each one has a unique story. Rarely is it a story of a progression through high school into college and on to baccalaureate and master's. Rarely does that tell your tale. Usually there's a little bend in the road. There's a journey that's taken you in other directions, and there's a little bit of a military career or maybe a family raised. I'm accustomed to commencements in which the grandparents are in the audience and the grandkids are getting their degrees, but partners in academia as we succeed, all of the representatives of your community arrayed here on the stage before you have been your supporters. The foundation that has put their means, their wealth into your performance, and the community that's generally supported you, both in that fractious legislature and within this narrow community. And please take note of the fact that we have on this stage Regent Fred Boyce. Now I know you've had a regent up here for 8 years. Judy Janak has been wonderfully loyal, but she is one of you. She is from Sierra Vista. And your loss of that regent might have caused you concern. Regent Boyce is a Tucsonan who comes here to express on behalf of all of the regents the belief of that organization of your importance as a small but critical element of the University of Arizona. And do note the dramatic entrance of our provost, George Davis, and the dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, dean of architecture, dean of the College of Science. These people are supporting you by their presence here, and in more ways than that, because you too need to have the kind of allegiance in the inner workings of the university that deans and provosts and presidents represent. And your own Associate Vice President, Dean Randy Groth, has been a dynamo, both for you on your behalf in this community, in Phoenix, where sometimes the going is rough, and on our campus, where he's developed the kinds of allegiance that are critical, the allegiances that you have to have in order to find your way in the complexities of the academic forests. So you have a lot of support. You've earned it, you deserve it, but believe me, you have it. This university is grateful to you for the role that you are playing as pioneers here, developing new dimensions of the University of Arizona. We congratulate you. We wish you well in all that you do. Thank you.
The nominating letters for Justin Kapos, our undergraduate speaker, are so impressive that I almost wish I could take time to read them to you. Since time is prohibitive, however, I'll hit the highlights. First of all, Justin is graduating with 2 degrees, one in math and one in computer science. Now please note this is not a double major. This is a double degree, as he has completed the requirements for each degree independently, which requires a minimum of 160 undergraduate credits. Further, Dr. Homer, his former computer science teacher, noted that Justin took his computer science courses out of sequence so that when he took each course, he did so without taking the prerequisites. And Dr. Homer notes he made it look easy. In addition, Justin was on active duty with the Army until late spring 2001. By that time, he was also a full-time student as well as a full-time soldier. If that were not enough to keep him busy, Justin designed a computer software tool named DS-CATS, which was exhibited at the UA Pride Day on February 12th in Phoenix and was demonstrated for the members of the state legislature. Justin currently works for Cochise College as an associate faculty member in computer information systems. Dr. Frank Zietza wrote that having Justin in his undergraduate courses was more like having a graduate teaching assistant. Justin will soon be attending the PhD program in computer science in Tucson. Justin Campos is truly an outstanding student, and it is a pleasure to introduce him as this year's undergraduate speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Boy, I better not say anything stupid. President Likens, Provost Davis, Regent Boyce, Dean Groff, President Nicodemus, distinguished guests, faculty, friends, family members, and graduating students, welcome. Now that you graduating students are about to be released into the world, I'd like to take a moment to discuss applying what you've learned and caution you about our arrogance as a species, especially ASU graduates. Around 150 BC, an astronomer named Claudius Ptolemy used the teachings of Aristotle to construct a model of the universe, with the Earth at the center and the sun, planets, and stars on crystalline spheres which rotated around the Earth. There was also a Greek astronomer, Aristarchus, who claimed that the sun was at the center of the solar system and that the Earth revolved around it. European culture rejected the idea that the sun was at the center of the solar system and instead chose to believe in Ptolemy's model with the crystalline spheres. Around the same time, Chinese philosophers came up with a model where the Earth was the yolk at the center of an egg-shaped universe. In addition, they also philosophized a model where spheres like the sun, moon, and Earth floated around very far from each other in space, but the philosophers chose instead to believe that the egg model was the correct model. Until around the 17th century, educated people all around the known world were taught incorrect models of the universe, when finally Galileo, Copernicus, and Kepler finally convinced the world that the Earth revolves around the sun. These scientists considered the factual information they collected and developed a new model of the universe based upon it. So when presented with information, don't blindly apply what you've been taught, but instead try and separate the facts from the fancy. Think of the ideas most people believe to be true: the Big Bang Theory, creationism, or Darwinism. Even something simple like why -1 times -1 is equal to +1. Why do you believe these things? What information are you basing your decisions on? Could you be wrong? What are the alternatives? So as you leave here to take positions teaching school children, laboring in industry, or working in academia, keep an open mind about what you know to be true. And remember, there is always more than one opinion about what is the right answer to any question. Decide for yourself if your answer is a good one, but be unbiased and open to discussion about what the correct answer is. To close, I'll leave you with a belief of mine, and feel free to let me know if you have a different view. But I believe that the best speeches are short. Thank you.
In her nominating letter for Lorraine Chavira, Dr. Sue Evans points out that in many ways Lorraine is typical of our graduate students in that she completed her bachelor's and master's degrees while working full-time and raising 3 children. Lorraine is atypical in that she has also been very active in the community and in her church while she was doing all of this. Lorraine received her BA in psychology here at UA South in 1998. Today she will receive her master's in educational psychology. Her thesis examined how people incorporate memory fragments into autobiographical memory, and it was directed by Dr. Jake Jacobs. I don't know how to impress on you the stringency implied by having Dr. Jacobs direct one's thesis. Suffice it to say, most of us would be at least daunted by the prospect. Lorraine has worked as a case manager for Child Protective Services, as a family support specialist at Child and Family Resources. She has been coordinator for the Single Parent Program and Career Services Specialist. She's worn many hats. She is also trained in crisis management, which I think is very handy since she has 3 children rapidly approaching the teen years. As the mother of those 3 children, ages 17, 14, and 11, Lorraine has been involved in their school activities, church activities, and supporting their athletic activities. In the future, Lorraine plans to pursue a PhD and would like to teach at the college or university level. Ladies and gentlemen, Lorraine Chavera.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. President Likens, Provost Davis, Dean Groff, Dr. Nicodemus, distinguished guests, my esteemed professors, faculty, graduates, family and friends, and staff of UA South. It is my honor to share this experience with you today. Graduates, we have all worked extensively and diligently to get here. Congratulations to all. I'd like to ask you all to take a deep breath and to bring your awareness to this moment. Give your attention to others in the room and to your own emotional and physical sensations. I'm asking you to appreciate this experience and to be fully present, because this moment will never come again. My hope for each of you is that you allow yourselves to celebrate this success, for success is inherent in graduation. In this case, the culmination of reaching educational goals. The purpose of education is to liberate the mind by challenging limited and limiting belief systems, by showing us the possibilities that exist in the world beyond our previous experience, and at best, by inviting us to share in the opportunity of making history. Education is a personal experience, and the process of education has a myriad of effects. I dare to say that the real spirit of education does not come from the content of textbooks or the knowledge of regurgitated information, but rather the real meaning of education comes from the interactions with that one instructor who challenges what we think we know. That one instructor who takes the time to ask how we're doing professionally and academically, as well as personally. That one instructor who sees significant potential when we accomplish the littlest of tasks and holds high expectations for us as a result. Those of you, faculty, know who you are. As you sit here today silently supporting the students you've mentored to this point of academic success. The essence of education also lies in the interaction with fellow students, those with whom we relate and whom we respect. Today, the graduating class of 2002 is completing one phase in this journey, but we are far from concluding the process, even if we never take another class or type another research paper. The interactions will continue. To academicians, there are few real truths. I will challenge you to consider this as one. Throughout our lives, and for some even in death, we serve our global family in the role of both teacher and student, always. This is a reciprocal relationship that offers a balance between what was, what is, and what will be. No one is excluded from this service. Therefore, as the process continues, I leave you with the words from the Desiderata. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible and without surrender, be on good terms with all. Speak your truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant, for they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become bitter or vain, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievement, as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Take kindly to the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of your youth. Nurture strength and spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears are born of loneliness and fatigue. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourselves. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding just as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep peace within your soul. With all its sham and drudgery and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. And now, my fellow graduates, go forth as students and teachers. Congratulations.
Marshals, prepare the candidates to receive their degrees.
Janelle Robinson Scott. She's graduating with a Master of Arts in Educational Psychology, Educational Technology emphasis. Dr. Phil Callahan is her master's advisor. Janelle would like to thank her husband, Bob, who let her quit her job to study full-time. She says he's shown me incredible love and patience. She wants to thank my daughter, Erica, my special friends for understanding when I said, I can't, I have to study.
Jane Carol Strain, Master of Arts, Educational Psychology, Educational Technology emphasis. Advisor, Dr. Phil Callahan, the best. She would like to acknowledge husband, Bob, sons Brian and Robert, faculty members Dr. Jerry Rentella, Diane Friend, George Self, Dr. Phil Callahan, Dr. Sue Evans, Dr. Glenn Jose, and billions of special friends who induced me during this entire process.
Sally Annika Dial, Master of Arts, Educational Psychology, Learning and Development emphasis. Sally says she would like to thank my husband Jake for his support during this past year and a half, and Dr. Sue Evans for her guidance and inspiration.
Valerie Scott, Master of Arts, Educational Psychology, Learning and Development emphasis. Valerie would like to acknowledge my husband Phil for all of his love and support. I couldn't have done it without him. Sue Evans for all of her help in transferring and continued encouragement.
Lorraine Shabira, Master of Arts, Educational Psychology, Learning and Development emphasis. Master's advisors, Dr. Sue Evans and Dr. Jake Jacobs. Lorraine would like to thank her family, especially Art, Philip, Nick, Amari, Lorenzo, and Juanita, and Lucy and Bibi. She'd also like to thank Dr. Sue Evans, Dr. Phil Callahan, Dr. Jake Jacobs, George Self, and Gina Warner, and the Memory Project research team.
Teresa L. Aguan, Master of Arts, Special Education, Master's Advisor, Dr. Todd Fletcher and Dr. Deb Ryan. She would like to acknowledge her husband, Raymond, daughter Jennifer, son Nathan, granddaughter Janessa, and Dr. Deb Ryan.
Brenda Epps, Masters of Education, Teaching and Teacher Education major, Master's Advisor, Dr. Charlotte Stochek. She would like to thank her family and friends for all of their support, and to all her colleagues for their advice, and most of all to Jesus Christ, her Lord and Savior.
Doris A. Johnson, Masters of Education, Teaching and Teacher Education Specialty or Major. Advisor is Dr. Charlotte Stochek. She would like to acknowledge the great appreciation that goes to her husband, Severin, for his total support, patience, and love that helped me survive. Thanks to my 5 children, Janessa, Jessica, Jared, Jeremy, and Jackie, who all assisted and encouraged me. I'm grateful to my friend and motivator, Inger McGee, who was always at my side in classes. I appreciate my principal, Dr. Elaine Cantrell, and all my students at Huachuca Mountain Elementary. The final thanks goes to the wonderful educator, mentor, and advisor, Dr. Charlotte Stochek, who gave me vision.
Inger McGee, Master's in Education, Teaching and Teacher Education major, Master's Advisor, Dr. Charlotte Stochek. Inger says, I would like to thank my husband for cooking all of the meals and doing the dishes for the last 2 years while I went to classes and wrote papers. I would also like to thank Dr. Stochek and Dr. Evans for their support and mentoring.
Jennifer, Catherine Rogers, 2 BAs, Psychology and Near Eastern Studies. She'd like to acknowledge my parents. Without their love and support and money, I could never have done this. Also thank Mona and BJ for always having a smile on their face, and Jake Jacobs and Kevin Thomas for making me learn something.
Mark Miley, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with a History minor. Mark said, I'd like to thank my wonderful wife, Abby, for all her support and love. Also like to thank Dr. Lutz, Dr. Cetera, Mona Bro, and BJ Jeffrey for all their mentorship and assistance.
Carmen G. Torres Wilson, Bachelor of Arts, Political Science. Would like to thank God, Mom, and Dad Torres. This one is for you. My daughter, Jasmine, you are my life. Finally, to my supporting and loving husband, Derwin, thank you.
Carrie Ann Wanglin, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Carrie would like to thank my parents, George and Nellie Wanglin, my husband, Greg Collin. Thank you for your love and support.
Charlie F. Contreras, Bachelor of Science, Psychology. Thanks to everyone who doubted me. It gave me the motivation to persist. Thanks to family, friends, Videotech Services, Ike, Lisa, Silas of the U of A South, John Rudderman and Nancy Thompson for the jokes. Thanks to Jake for the discipline. The rest of you know who you are.
Brad Eggers is receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. He's previously attended Cochise College, and while at UA South was Program Coordinator for the Arizona Department of Corrections.
Margaret Ann Stemple, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. She would like to acknowledge God, most of all for the strength to accomplish my educational goals, my mom and Al. If not for them, I wouldn't have been able to do this. As far as my friends, you know who you are. I want also to thank my brothers and sisters for their patience, encouragement, and support they gave me. Would also like to acknowledge the motivation and inspiration of Dr. Joni Ebbs and Dr. W. Jacobs, and to my children, Alexis, Joseph, and Jazz, this is for you.
This way.
Gina Warner, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Psychology. First of all, I would like to thank my parents, Constance and Leonard Marzano, my husband, Mark, and our children, Kimberly, Ashley, and Sean. You have each been a tremendous source of support, and without all of you, I would not have accomplished my goal. To my brother, Mark Marzano, for his guidance, thank you. Thanks to Professor Jacobs and Professor Lutz for enriching my life, and a great amount of gratitude to Greta Clemenhagen for editing my thesis. Finally, to Bob, Carmelina, Lorraine, and Luann, who made this experience enjoyable, and BJ, Carol, Sheila, Mona, Nancy, and Nina.
Lyle M. Acosta, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to acknowledge my wonderful parents, Jim and Edna Judd, Virgil, Morgan, Margot, and Ty Judd, and their families, Nicole, Dylan, and Judd Acosta, my cheerleaders.
Gloria S. Barker, Bachelor of Arts in Education. She brought her family. Elementary education major. She would like to say thank you to her husband Mike, daughter Ashley, son Joseph, for having the patience and understanding when my computer became my family. Thanks to my cooperating teacher, Henry Voss, for his guidance, wisdom, and patience. I couldn't have done it without you.
Gloria G. Barreras, Bachelor of Education, Honors, Dean's Honor List, and would like to acknowledge Mr. and Mrs. Jose Cuinta, Mrs. Joy Barreras, Joseph, and the rest of my family for their unconditional support.
Laura Christina Copey, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. A bundle of thanks to my spouse, Matt Copey, coming from Colorado Springs, Colorado. My beautiful mother and my father from El Paso, Texas, for all their love and support and prayers.
Jamie Epperson, Bachelor of Education, Elementary Education, Dean's List 2000-2001, acknowledges fiancé J.J. Ramage, brothers and sisters Jared, Jeffrey, Paul, Crystal, Alex, most of all my parents. Thank you for your love and support.
Denise Escarcega, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. She would like to thank Hector and Sylvia Canez, her mom and dad, for encouraging me to get my teaching degree and being my inspiration. Chris, my husband, for being so loving, supportive, and understanding about my hectic schedule. And Diana Valenzuela, her cooperating teacher, for teaching me so much and being so helpful.
Holly L. Facizio, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education, would like to acknowledge Jason Facizio, Donna and Hal Harris, Steve and Nita Facizio, Maria Pina, Dr. Duncan, and the staff of Pierce Elementary.
Deborah Hawker, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. She would like to thank God, her parents, and her sister. She couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Rebecca L. Harker, B.Ed. Bachelor's of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. Would like to acknowledge God for his unfailing faithfulness and love, my parents for their love and support, my sister Deborah for being there for me and with me through it all, Stephen Lusk for his love and unwavering faith in me, Jan Johnson for her help and encouragement, the faculty and staff at UAS. Thank you.
Carolyn M. Hernandez, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. For acknowledgement, first, I want to thank my loving husband, Carlos Hernandez Jr., for all his help and support. Second, my children, Isai and Allegra, for their love and understanding. Finally, my family for their encouragement and faith.
Megan Isbell, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to acknowledge husband, Jared Isabel, parents, Ronnie and Connie Nugent, co-op teacher, Marty Payne, mother-in-law, Rosemary Isabel.
Douglas MacArthur Keaton Jr., Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. He was a member of Gamma Beta Phi while at UA South, did his student teaching at Johnston Elementary School, 2nd grade, and the job he held while going to UA South was with the U.S. Army, still active duty.
Denise I. Larkin, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to acknowledge my husband, Brian Larkin, children Heather and Nicholas, my supervising teacher, Dr. Duncan, my cooperating teacher, Pamela Corella, my principal, Mr. Morrison, and my friends Mona, Bro, and B.J. Jeffrey.
Diane Yvette Lomelli, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. Would like to say thank you to Mom and Dad, Albert and Norma Lomelli, for their patience, encouragement, and support. Ms. Haynes for being such a great mentor. To my son Brian Albert Lomelli, thank you for all your love and the motivation you gave me. To all my friends, thank you for your great support.
Shelby Diane Maroney, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education.
Julie Parrish, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. She would like to acknowledge her fiance, Jeff Crowley, her family, Mom and Dad, and Josh, her brother, and grandparents. Thank you for all of your prayers, support, and patience. I love you all.
Carmen Saltis, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to acknowledge her husband, Chris Saltis, children Melissa, Christine, and Matthew.
Maria Ojeda Roddy, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to acknowledge Tom, Roman, and Alexa for understanding the importance of what she was doing. Alejandro and Maria Ojeda, Pat Solis for the encouraging words.
Sylvia Smith, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to thank Mrs. Hay, cooperative teacher, Diane Friend, family, friends, all staff at Greenway and of U of A. I couldn't have done it without them.
Juana C. Tate, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. She had a significant milestone while attending the U of A. She was married in 9/14/2000 to Roger Tate. She would like to thank her husband, Roger, her sons James and Jeremiah Griffith, and her sister Maritza Seeley.
Diana Melissa Vanzuela, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education. She would like to thank my dad, mom, sisters, my grandmother, Armida, for all their support. I would like to thank Dr. Sylvia Livingston and Debbie Wood for being wonderful mentors, and I would also like to thank all my friends and family.
Heather L. Vaughn, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education major. She would like to thank my buddy Diana for sharing it all with me, but most of all, Papa Jay and Grandma Sherry, my first teachers, and Holly, my first student and greatest teacher.
Melissa Acosta, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education, bilingual endorsement. She would like to thank my mom, Mercedes, and all of my brothers and sisters for joining me on my special day. To Robert, thank you for being patient with me those past 2 semesters.
Anna Aravalo, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education with bilingual endorsement. Anna would like to give her acknowledgement to my husband Ray for all of his emotional and financial support while earning my degree, my sons Michael and Gabriel for their support, special friend Roxana La Madrid. We supported and helped each other emotionally and carpooled together to Sierra Vista campus. And she'd like to thank her advisor Pam for her support.
Roxana La Madrid, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Elementary Education, bilingual endorsement. I would like to thank my husband, my parents, my brothers and sisters, and my whole family for being there when I most needed them.
Abigail Griffin, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education Spanish with bilingual. She would like to thank her husband, Silas, and her children, Jared, Leslie, David, and Ivy Griffin.
Leslie A. Clark, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education, Extended English. She would like to thank her family, friends, and faculty and staff of U of A South. Special thanks to co-op teacher Jackie Wilson Bradley.
You go, girl.
Karen Gold, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education major with Extended English. She would like to thank Dr. Joni Adamson, Dr. Mary Lee Sheldon, Diane Friend, and Ms. Milagros West, her mentors and friends, and Kevin J. Gold, her husband. Because of you, I now have the wings with which I soar into my future. Thank you and God bless. I shall always remember you fondly.
Alexia Christine Hernandez, Bachelor of Art in Education, major is Secondary Education, Extended English. She'd like to acknowledge her son Tony, my husband Emmett, my mother Georgia, Rose, and my entire family for their continued support. It's been a long road, but I finally made it. I love you all.
Celeste E. Howie, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education major, Extended English. She would like to acknowledge her parents, Lydia and Roger Nutty, and her daughter in the front row. For help with child care, spouse Ron Howie Jr. for patience and understanding. Dr. Joni Adamson for her encouragement and always having her door open to me. And Diane Friend for her insight into her writing.
Paige Anissa Chastain, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education, Social Studies. I thank my mom, Michael, Tobas, Opie, and Joe for supporting me through these years, to my co-op teacher, Mr. Kurt Kiefer, for showing me the right way to teach, and all the professors who helped me achieve this goal.
Richard Manuel Ross, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education major with Social Studies. He held an interesting job while attending UA South. He's the fire chief for the city of Douglas. He would like to acknowledge his wife Cindy and his children for putting up with me, and thank you to all the faculty and staff.
Mary Alice Silverwin, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Social Studies, English teaching minor. Thank you to my husband, Adrian Silverwin. We got married right after I started the UA program. I appreciate his putting up with my last-minute jitters at finals. And I thank you, Kenny, for understanding why Mommy was always on the computer. I love you both.
Tamara L. Ware, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Secondary Education, Social Studies. She would like to acknowledge Alexis Ware, Madison Ware, David Wolf, Dr. Mary Lee Sheldon, and Barbara Williams. Thank you for your help, understanding, and love.
Justin Capos, 2 degrees, Bachelor of Science in Math, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Major was Math and Computer Science. We'd like to acknowledge Mom and Dad, Dr. Patrick Homer, and Dr. Frank Ziza.
Christy S. Brown, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with a math minor. She says, thanks to my husband Michael, my children Thomas and Hunter, and my in-laws Lucy and Jim Brown for their support. Thanks for a wonderful teaching staff at UA South and excellent computer science and math instructors.
Michelle Marie Martin, Bachelor of Science, Computer Science with a minor in Math. She would like to acknowledge Scott Bergen and Shelby Martin.
Hollis Watson McCrae, Bachelor of Science, Computer Science major. Hollis would like to thank his mother, Janice McCrae, and Dr. Patrick Homer.
Sunya Smith, Bachelor of Science, Computer Science, Math minor. I would like to thank my husband, Pete Smith, and our son, Kelly, for their unconditional love and enduring my agony on those sleepless nights. I would like to thank God that He helped me throughout the CS program. I want to thank Barb Smith, Dr. Homer, Dr. Ziza, Dr. Kime, and Dr. Wagaman.
David Tangway, Bachelor of Science, Computer Science major. David would like to thank his wife, Mary Tangway, for her patience and love.
Claudia S. Figueroa, degree is in a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. She would like to thank my son, Alexis Garcia, and my family, and my boss, Barry Lay, for all of the support throughout my education.
There may be Pamela A. Metz, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. To my parents, Larry and Joe Metz, and brother James, for their love and support and encouragement, thank you. my supervisor, Mr. Wallace Ricks, for his flexibility and mentorship, and to Dr. Bissell and my friends for their patience and understanding.
Abby J. Miley, BS, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major is Business Management. She says a special thank you to my family, Dr. Gary and Jean Thrasher, Adam and Jenny Thrasher, and my husband, Mark, for all your love and support.
Jorge Omar Roman, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Business Management major. Says I want to say thank you to my parents for always believing in me and being there for me. I also want to acknowledge my teachers and friends for their support and guidance throughout my education.
Celeste M. Snyder, Bachelor of Science, Business Administration, major is Business Management. She would like to give thanks to my loving family for all your support. Without you, I would not be here today.
Marco A. Tenori, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Business Management major. Passed a significant milestone while at UA South with the birth of his first grandchild, Maria Stewart. He would like to acknowledge and thank his wife for all of her help and support.
Richard Thomas, Bachelor of Science, Business Administration, major is Business Management. He would like to give thanks to Yolanda, Sherry, Jenny, Alex, and Madison for being there always. Richard is graduating summa cum laude.
Olga I. Yurchenko, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Business Management major. Her milestone at the U of A South was becoming a U.S. citizen on September 18th, year 2000. She wants to acknowledge and thank her dear husband David and son Misha for supporting me during my academic years. Special thank you to my professors, Dr. LeClaire, Dr. Bissell, and Mr. Rogers for their knowledge and patience. I'd also like to express my gratitude to the entire UA South faculty and staff members for helping me to learn and adjust to American culture and working environment. You are all part of my new American family.
Virginia Ann Urich, Bachelor of Science in Education, Secondary Education, Math, Minor, and Economics. She would like to thank her husband, Rolf, and my two sons, Damon and Justin, and parents, Delilah and Jim Bristler.
Mary Ann Furry, Bachelor of Science in Family and Consumer Sciences, major Family Studies and Human Development. She would like to acknowledge Travis and Taylor, my parents, Jim and Donna Furry, the Bartons, the McQueens, and all the friends I've met along the way.
Stacy K. Nielsen, Bachelor of Science, Family Studies, and Human Development. She says, thanks to Eric for all your support and being the proofreader. To Brent, thanks for reminding me to laugh when school was getting tough. To Jessica, thanks for being so patient and understanding while Mom was going to night school and studying all the time. Thanks to the rest of my family and friends for support. And finally, thanks to the U of A staff.
Marco A. Reinhardt, Post-Baccalaureate Certification in Elementary Education. Thank you to Charlotte Stochek, his supervising teacher, and Donna Boyle, his cooperating teacher. Thanks to all the UA South staff for all your support. Most of all, thank you, Mom.
Christina Shepard. Post-baccalaureate certification, major with secondary education, Spanish, bilingual. She would like to thank her husband, Vincent Shepard, for the never-ending love and support, my wonderful girls on the basketball team, and most of all, to God, who is the head of my life.
We will now proceed with the conferring of degrees and certificates.
Would those students receiving a master's degree please rise? Mr. President, it is my honor to present to you those candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Education.
By the authority vested in me by the Arizona Board of Regents, I confer upon each of you the appropriate master's degree as recommended by the faculty of the university. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to your degree here and elsewhere. Congratulations.
Please be seated. All of those receiving a bachelor's degree, please stand. Mr. President, it is my honor to present to you those candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Arts in Education, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Education, and Bachelor of Science in Family and Consumer Science.
By the authority vested in me by the Arizona Board of Regents, I confer upon each of you the appropriate bachelor's degree as recommended by the faculty of the university. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to your degree here and elsewhere. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Graduates, I want to welcome you to a community consisting over 200,000 University of Arizona alumni located all over the world. This is an elite group of predecessors of whom you now become a part. I invite Ms. Jackie Wilson Bradley to the podium to be recognized as the first ever UA South Alumna of the Year. Jackie was honored at the annual Alumni Awards banquet on April 21st. Jackie. I ask all the U of A alumni here in the room tonight, would you please stand? All U of A alumni, please stand. Graduates, I want you to look around and see your fellow Wildcats. Wave your arms back there so that everybody can see these Wildcats. I now invite everyone in the room to stand and join me in welcoming the newest members of the University of Arizona alumni family, our graduates. Graduates, you please stand and join all of us in singing the University of Arizona alma mater led by Dr. Joni Adams. Now, we have not rehearsed this, so we're only going to do the first verse, and it's in your program, okay? Everybody's got their program. They're all ready. Dr. Adamson?
For thee will e'er be true.
Thank you.
The year since we last held this event has been a difficult one. I think we've learned some things about ourselves, even under circumstances that one might have wished to be different. Perhaps from 9/11 we learned that we're stronger, tougher, more united than we might even have given ourselves credit for. On a little less serious note, we may have learned from the Enron fiasco that we can't always trust our bosses. And some people learned, not us, we already knew this. You don't ever bet against a Lute Olson team even when he's playing a string of freshmen. Keep in mind that you are now that most valuable, that most precious commodity for a university. You're an alum. Don't worry about calling us, we'll call you. That's especially true if you have financial aid, one of those gifts that makes you keep on giving. But for now, go out and celebrate, enjoy, experience the pleasure of the occasion, and make us proud we turned you loose on the world. Please rise for the recessional.